going to take a look at the record patterns and groups function. This is just how you get your little segments together. You probably can't see too well on the screen, there's a little bit of a glare, but this one is called No Answer. The yellow selections here have a pre-made patterns on here. The red does not. The reds are just regular sound patches. But when you go into pattern, right here in the transport, you have instruments. So, go. So they already kind of preloaded So Roland kind of already loaded these little groups and these little patterns. The purple ones and some of the yellow ones have a lot of patterns on there already. So you can start a groove, so you can play, you can check out and see what you like. Let's go all the way to C. All right. Right here we have initial scenes. Initial scenes are where you can save your own work. And starting at about C17, it looks like you can start saving all your own work, which I already have. And you can save an entire scene. And what a scene is, it's a group of 16 instruments and all the patterns on each of those 16 tracks. And you can save that scene, all those sound designs, all those effects as a group. And you can also chain and put the scenes together for, let's say, if you want to perform. So it looks like we go up to 128 scenes in D group. So from C17 to C128, then D1 to D128, we have scenes. And once you get to these blank scenes, if you can see here, these are just all piano. Let me scrolling for you a little bit. These are just all piano, piano, piano. So you can load up whichever selections you want. So let's go back here. So all the way back and get a nice little track. Get some chill. Alright, from here, let's zoom out, we go to pattern. And when you see pattern changes, it opens up, it goes from the scene selection and it goes right to the area where you can now start playing. So you see, started on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's hit 16 track view, and you can see all 16 tracks. So we only have a few here. Go back to 16 track view, and you only have 3 through 8. Or you can press 9 through 16. You can just see that bank or that little selection, and you can see this little group. So everything's good here. Now, selections. You can hear each individual little segment or little pattern at a time. Let's zoom in here. You can start playing any ones you want. And as you can see on the screen right here, it the area where you're playing completely lights up. So you have the bass. The synth on this keyboard is anyone who has any affinity Roland, which is my first Roland keyboard. It's the best ever. I think it's better than software synths. The synth engine, and this is just amazing. Actually, let's go out real quick. Stop. Let's show the synth leads. We have 29 pages of synths. So you can turn this button right here and scroll through. Zoom in here. A lot of leads. A lot of Juno patches. It's kind of hard to see because of the screen, the glare. But you have an almost infinite selection. Well, not infinite, 29 pages, but I think it's a lot compared to most keyboards and most workstations of Roland synths you can select from. They really, really threw the kitchen sink into this keyboard when it comes to the synth selections. So let's check out the groupings now. So let's say you played, you recorded, you jammed through a whole session, and you want to start putting these patterns into songs. The first thing you need to do is just go to grouping, and boom, you get number, name, and the length. And you can also push this little button here, and let's check it out, zoom in real quick. It is just a little speaker sound, which means you can preview. Let's see how many groups we have here. We have 16 initial groups, and those groups can be put into a song. And then you push set. So let's say we like this combination right here. Pick another song. I don't like that song too. That grouping too much. Alright, that's kind of crazy. It's a little wild. Let's go with this one. Let's go to pattern. Now all the patterns are up here. Let's start selecting which patterns you want in a group. So first thing you do is touch and select which one of these patterns you want in a specific group. Then you can take that group and make it into an intro, a verse, chorus, bridge, whatever you want. So let's check this out. Okay, I like that. So all these that are highlighted right here, you can see just a little bit. Let me adjust. In system, you can also adjust the LCD brightness up or down. So let's just get the right one where you can actually see everything. And let's go back to pattern. Alright, I want these right here, all that are lit up in a group. Boom, initial group, set, you want group to set, okay. Grouping complete. Now you can rename the group. Let's say, just for group 1, let's call it intro. Of course, you can capitalize, you can do whatever you need to do. The touchscreen is great. Let's just save some time here. Okay, you can also set the length, which is 1 bar, because it's pretty much just a 1 bar loop here. Sorry, not 1 bar, but 1 loop around, 1 4 count section. So the grouping is set. Intro. Let's select another pattern. So let's play the drum beat. you can either push the stop button or you can just push on that little note again and get everything stopped. Go back to grouping. Let's say I want that in group 2. Set. Let's call that, rename it. Let's call that verse. Spell it correctly. V-E-R-S-E. Got it. And the length is 1. Let's set it. Set to group 2. Grouping complete. Got it. Now you can go to the group section. What we have right here in group section, you have all your different groups set up, all 16, and this red button here. You can also turn and you can also push down to select. Notice the screen on the right. It shows you the initial setup for the groups. So obviously I didn't put anything in 16, 14, 13, blah, 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 blah. So we just have 1 and 2. What you can do in 1 and 2 is to set the length. And watch as you set the length. So that 4 count group, which is only played once, it's saying to me, hey, this guy wants this length to be 20. So you have 20 of those groups laid out. And that's your intro. But we don't want a 20 count or 20 bar intro. Maybe 2. Okay? So the length is 2. Now let's go to verse. That 1 4 count section, let's have it 16. So it says here 16. The intro is 2. Actually, let's just do 8. You can rename from here. You can also go to utility from here. And you can initialize, which means you can completely wipe out what you just put there, or you can do export. Export is really great because you can choose which tracks to save onto your destination, which is a flash drive, or you can save to the system. I'm not going to save anything right now. So you can mute or solo whichever tracks you want and export them all. You can export as a group. You can also export tempo, levels, pans, those control data, and then you can hit execute, or you can rename. And you can rename the entire pattern. The pattern is A105, whatever. You can rename it, computer chip beat or whatever you want. All right, hit make song. Now it looks similar to the screen we had before, except right here. You can add the intro, go down, add again. Now we just add the verse. Alright, so here I added a chorus, 8 bars, or 8 groups, sections, and the verse. We can just start laying all these out. So you have intro, verse, chorus, then you can go back, add another verse, come here, add another chorus, and that's how you start laying your song out. Like I said, go in right here, and you can see this is your song sections. You can actually make this section a little bit longer if you want. You can loop this section and repeat it a couple times. And you can move along and keep doing that and lay it out however you want. You can push this button and go back to the original pattern, go back to grouping, go back to make song, export whatever parameters you want. It's very simple. The whole process is really, really simple, really intuitive. You can also copy and move each of these sections wherever you choose, and you can also delete as you need be. And like I said, you have 32 sections. These aren't necessarily bars, just 32 sections. So you can have, let's say, 32 repeats on each sections for 32 of these patterns. So you can have a really, really long song, let's say an orchestral type song, or just something really short. But let's just put this back to 1. You can go back to pattern, again, group, cycle back around. Like I said, it's simple, it's easy, it's intuitive, and it's really great. I think it's one of the best layouts I've seen on a sequencer going to a song group.